It wasn't a war, but 3 million people died. No bombs, no bullets, no soldiers on the battlefield. They died of hunger. On the streets, in their homes, in silence, and the world looked away. Today, I'm going to tell you a story most history books forget. A story that must be remembered. This is the Bengal Famine of 1943. A tragedy that didn't have to happen. The year was 1943. The world was in chaos. World War II had reached its peak, and India, still under British colonial rule, was being forced to fight a war that wasn't its own. The British Empire used India as a base for food, soldiers and supplies. But while India supported the British war efforts, something terrible was happening right here at home. The Bengal famine was not caused by drought. There was no major flood, no earthquake, no pest outbreak. It happened because food was being taken away. In 1942, the British adopted a scorched earth policy in Bengal. They feared Japan would invade India through Eastern Front via Burma and into Bengal. To stop them, they destroyed everything that could be useful to the enemy. Thousands of boats used by poor fishermen and farmers to transport rice were seized and destroyed. Grain was hoarded by traders. Prices shot up. And worst of all, the British continued to export food from India, even as Indians were starving. Winston Churchill, the British Prime Minister, refused to send help. Instead, he even said, "Famine or no famine, Indians will breed like rabbits." By mid-1943, the famine had turned deadly. People began dying in the streets of Kolkata. Families walked for miles in search of food, only to collapse from exhaustion. Children cried out from hunger and then went silent. Some mothers gave their children to strangers, hoping they would survive. Others sat beside their dying children with nothing but tears. Photographers captured haunting images. Skin over bone, hollow eyes, lifeless bodies on footpaths. But the British government tried to censor the truth. One of the bravest voices at that time was Chittaprasad Bhattacharya, an artist who sketched the horrors he witnessed. His work was banned, but it told a story the world refused to hear. By the time the famine ended, over 3 million people were dead. That's more than the population of some countries today. But the deaths weren't just from starvation. Many died from diseases like cholera and malaria because their bodies were too weak to fight back. Cremation grounds overflowed. Graves were dug in a hurry. And still, no large-scale help came. The silence was louder than words. When the war ended in 1945, the world celebrated victory. But India remembered the pain, the betrayal, the loss. The Bengal famine became a symbol of colonial cruelty. It strengthened India's fight for independence. Leaders like Mahatma Gandhi and Subhash Chandra Bose raised their voices louder than ever. But the scars remained in villages, in photographs, and in memory. So why are we telling this story today? Because it's not just about numbers, it's about people, about lives that could have been saved. The Bengal famine wasn't a natural disaster. It was a human tragedy caused by greed, arrogance, and the failure to care. It reminds us why history matters, because when we forget the past, we risk repeating it. Every child, every student, every human being should know what happened in 1943 in our own land. to our own people. I hope this story made you think. If you found it meaningful, for more such untold stories of India, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Stay tuned to my channel. Until my next video, stay curious and keep reading. Signing off, Page Pulse Bailey. See you next time.